How's it going, Lazy Brucers? I'm Bobby Sixkilla and welcome back to the Chronicles of Tal'Dun. We're still in our conversation with the Hermit, my favourite character so far, which is just a hermit shell with a giant fucking arm in it, from what I can tell, because we haven't seen any other part of him. And we have to decide on what we're going to do with this deal, and I haven't really decided. I would like to do it, but if we can offer a different shard and get the deal still, that'd be groovy. But I'd rather get the deal done than fail to come up with a deal. Let's try offer a different shard and see what happens anyway. I can't do it. This memory feels too precious to me. No deal, I say resolutely. Beg pardon? I decided to keep this one. But you said... It's with slither and whine. I'm sorry, but this might be the last part of me I'll ever find, and I cannot. How about one of the smaller shards? Crab shakes his claw as he grumbles. And what if I don't want a smaller shard? 2 smaller shards? The Hermit bristles. I sigh. Then I'm leaving, to find someone else to barter with. This area abounds with treasure hunters, I hear. As I turn to make a show of leaving, the eel follows behind, taking the shards with him. Bah, good luck. I'm the only one around here for 1,000 leagues, and no one with as higher quality waters as mine, he shouts, trying to sound confident, but I can hear his voice cracking with tension. And your companion, it won't last long. Be reasonable, for its sake. I have an elderly mother at home. I fight to keep my pace steady and steal a glance at Ilar's limp vessel. Their colours are becoming greyer, but I don't know if that means what I think it means. The Hermit is listening to other elderly relatives he's taken care of. He might be in tears in a few more breaths. I decide to call his bluff and keep swimming away. Oh, alright, come back, he squeals. I take a few breaths to hide my smirk before turning back and looking him squarely in the shell. 2 shards, one for your jewel, the other for your help with my companion, and to get us back to our realm. You drive a hard bargain, the Hermit grumbles, but not for my prized jewel, yeah? You get a lesser one. Just only fair. He waves his claw wearily. Give those 2 here, and then... Give those 2 here, then. Let me take a look-see. I nod to the eel. He hides the bright shard behind me, away from the crab, then brings out 2 smaller ones to the Hermit. The glow of the shards perks the dejected crab right up. His pincers click together in rapid succession. May I? Take a closer look, that is? You may, but remember of the compactum. Those shards are a part of me. You will harm me if... By golly, what do you take me for? I'm a proprietor of repute. I'll have you know. Towering repute, ask anyone, he huffs, sweeping his claw expansively from side to side at an invisible audience. Alright. I relax and quietly hope a compact is binding as I think it is. The Hermit takes the shard ever so delicately with the tips of his pincers and brings it up to the hole on his shell, where the claw emerges. I can see just beyond the threshold a few winks of reflected light. There comes a slew of hushed woos and ahs, and then he puts it back and examines the other. These ones shall suffice, he announces. That is good, yes, but can I just see them for a moment? A deal's a deal, the crab calls. And you have my word, I just want to see them one last time, please. I can't help it, sound like I'm pleading. After some fidgeting, the Hermit nods. Carefully, I put my tendrils around the shards, a finger's distance from touching. I'm not sure what I hope to accomplish. Get a glimpse of the memories, perhaps. There's an inkling of a flavour from one of the shards, a humorous outing, and from the other, a friend's departure. That's all. My tendrils quiver. I clench my teeth, so to speak, fighting not to grasp the shards. They're my bargaining chips. I must let them go. Whatever happened, whoever I've forgotten, I'm sorry, but you're no longer a part of me. I am what I make of myself now. My heart pleads and my tendrils twitch with tension, but I pull away still. Alright, take them, quickly. Now you demand haste. He pinches the shards, and in one sweeping movement, tucks them into his shell. And for the second part of our bargain, he busies himself by examining Ilar from several angles. Strange, very strange. Never seen one like this before. Are you sure you want to proceed with this? You might just take the waters and go. Let's just get on with it. I've already dragged them this far. Might as well go a bit longer. Funny reason to be doing such a thing, don't you think? I eye Ilar, fidget and shrug. Let's get on with it. He sighs. Oh well, I tried. Bring him here. I maneuver Ilar close to the crab. How will you heal them? Should I do something? The Hermit stares at me and clicks impatiently. Oh, I have to explain everything? I should charge for this. I should have an addendum put to the compactum. I should... If not you, then who else? I sacredly know up from down around here. I scarcely know up from down around here, and I traded you my last memories for this, so stop stalling. Fine. Sink me. I'm too soft-hearted. It'll be the end of me one day, I tell you. The end. He carries on groaning and grumbling. How good of a bargain have I given him that he would allow me such leeway? Quite a good one, I suspect. After a while, he runs out of steam, or perhaps out of breath. Hear me, shallowling. You must see your companion in your heart's eye, clear as ice, as if they breatheth and liveth. Only then will restoration occur, savvy? Now chop chop. What? Oh, see them in my heart, I stutter. Wait, what if I, don't know them very well? Well, naturally, but you must know something about them at least, otherwise the waters won't know what shape to take. Look, just hold them in your heart as best you can. He waves his claw. Alright, shape and waters, I mutter, head abuzz. And today, please. The crab squeals and begins drawing a pattern in space next to Ilar. Alright. I look inward and concentrate. My heart is full of tension and noise. There's not one image of Ilar, but a dozen, shifting and dancing like the surface of a pond in the rain. I hone in on the fragments and scoop one up from the water's surface. There are flashes, words and memories. Moments we spend together, such as they are. Memories that I reclaimed, jokes we made, it all comes together. Is this all there is? It may not be enough. I do have this. I glanced at the shard reluctantly. Even with my eyes closed, it is piercingly bright. I can almost see Ilar's silver hair in the radiance. Should I? Fine, let's do it. Reclaim the memory. I have to do it, I have to. I reach for the shard. A blinding, immobile glow blooms in my eyes. A wave of ecstasy seeps into my thumb and travels to the rest of my body. The near shallows fades away as I close my eyes and drift off. Light suddenly flooded the room as I walked through the mirror. Making me shield my sleepy eyes, I squinted at the array of vibrant fly lamps lighting up the stony chamber. Ilar stood beside an immense thing draped in velvet cloth, one hand pinching the cloth, failing to hide a grin. Are you ready? They asked, eyebrows twitching in amusement. I don't know, Ilar. You know how I feel about surprises, I said, butterflies dancing in my stomach. They chuckled. The cloth flew off. My mouth opened with disbelief. A large upright tank made of thick glass and dull brass glinted in the light. A terral fluid filled to the brim, and within that fluid was a perfect specimen. I was lost for words. Ilar beamed at me. Come closer. Unblinking, I stepped close to the tank and put a hand to the glass. Closer, Ilar said in a sing-song voice. Put your ear to the glass. As I squinted at them, I heard a faint, rhythmic thump. A heartbeat. My eyes widened. It's matured? Oh, I can't believe it. We did it? Ilar nodded. I don't know if I feel quite right taking the credit. It was your hard work after all. My voice was shaky. We did it. How much waters can it hold? Have you measured? And how long were you keeping this from me? A few days. You were in meditation until now. I thought you'd want to rest. Look at you. You're barely standing up. They put a supportive hand on my shoulder. It felt so warm on my cold skin. I had long gotten used to the clinging cold and exhaustion sucking at me from within, but the rush of success was overwhelming now. Oh, the possibilities. We'll have as much waters as we need. Endless, really, given enough time. Ilar chuckled. Yes, it's quite something. But let's keep our heads about us, huh? Now, how do you want to celebrate? Celebrate? Oh, yes. I didn't think of that. Maybe that picnic? By the standing stones you threaten me with from time to time? I winked. But I don't know if I can tear myself away from my work, now that sublimation is in reach. Now, I'm as happy as you are. But this still doesn't grant you the right to overwork yourself to death, you know that. Your weight still worries me. You should focus on reducing the strain. Exposure puts you on you now. I sighed and felt my cheeks warm. Right, of course. I have no such intentions. I will only overwork myself a little. I grinned and ducked my head. There are so many things to fine-tune and prepare. Mass production, for one. I'll have to open our reserve funds. I want to start on another 25 specimens soon. I thought you needed 20 more for the final ritual. Ilar raised their brows at me. Contingency, I shrugged. There's still room for accidents and unknown occurrences. I would rather have some extra on hand, just in case. Ilar sighed, rubbing their neck and wrinkling their forehead. What? Tell me. Well, I don't want to ruin your celebration, but I'm concerned about its vacancy. What do you mean? Now don't be alarmed, but I noticed some minute movements in our specimen here. Just small twitches, but it's gotten me pondering. I put a hand on my hip. Doesn't sound unusual to me. I've seen living things in a heartless state do that. Something with the residual waters in the body? Yes, I'm aware of that too, but that's a good example. What happens to a vessel like that if left vacant for a long time? Especially in a place of rich currents and many way mirrors like this tower. Ilar's words were slow and deliberate. Ah, Lucasi, I stroked my chin. That, then there are the Sunkens, the Bruhi, and other dark magi. It's not likely true, but we should consider the possibility. Ilar's face was stern. Well, not today. Today we celebrate. They clapped their hands and smiled broadly. I'm sorry to bring up such things on a day like this. Don't be. I wrote to the Order for a batch of divinorum leaves for warding already. If we make certain the mirrors are covered at night, that should do the trick for the vast majority of cases. Ilar's mouth hung open. I grinned and arched an eyebrow, triumphantly. You imagine I don't listen to you. I will have you know I remember every word, even ones from several turns ago. I remember the first night we met like it was yesterday. Ilar laughed and shook their head. Many turns indeed, and you still never fail to astonish me. Now let us go and enjoy the garden. No more work for the rest of the day. My grin widened. Ilar's brow flew upwards. Truly? You don't jest? I'll hold you to that, you know. I winked and put a hand before my heart. Lure as my witness. Ilar smirked and offered me their arm. We shall see, shan't we? I linked my arm around theirs and we walked toward the exit. When I cross the threshold, it's utterly dark. A flash of Violuth somewhere far off catches my eye. A shockwave rumbles as its bow rushes toward me. I brace myself. Biting cold smashes into me. I gasp for air through clenched teeth. When the wave passes and the violet shivering calms down, I find myself back in the empty darkness of the near shallows once again. A familiar voice mumbles. I open my eyes to the Hermit delicately pinching a dazzling string from my vessel and weaving a ringed pattern around Ilar with it. Are you ready, Shallowling? The Hermit snips off the string, completing the circular design. Yes? The Hermit takes the jewel and the sigil of Ilar starts to hum. The hairs on my neck stand to buzzing attention. He touches the jewel to Ilar's center and intones deeply, O child of Sruthrul, from whose scale cometh thine vessel, let this waters flow into you. By the heart sight be made whole. Sign Shirathi Oning. With each word, Ilar pulses brighter and waves of power shake the space around us. At the moment of the last throaty syllable, the jewel flashes blindingly bright and I shield my eyes. When the glow dies down, the ring and Ilar have become a seamless whole. Well done, Larvae. The Hermit clicks his claw. It's done? They are healed? I look from the Hermit to Ilar and back. Instead of replying, he simply stares at me. Well? I raised a tendril. The Hermit's voice is strangely serious. What did you do with that shard just now? What? I blink. Memories of warmth flash in my heart. Were you spying on my memory? I hear the blood rush in my ears. Oh, no. The Hermit raises his claw and retreats. I cannot if I wanted to. Only the one from whence a shard fell can unravel it. I suppose I might owe you an apology. It seems they are your shards after all. I take several deep breaths and slacken a bit. Alright, let us hear it then. Hear what? Your apology. Oh, that was it. That was it? Where were we? Oh yes, what a masterful restoration that was. Masterful, I say. I roll my eyes, if you say so. You mean to tell me you can't discern it yourself? I'm new to these things, alright? I peer closer at Ilar. They do seem a bit brighter. I give Ilar a hopeful prod. Their only response is a faint shimmer. Say, you seem like a good sort, Shallowling. The Hermit leans over, startling me. Now, I don't know what sort of an arrangement you've got going here, but it seems like a perfectly splendid time to, skidoo out of here. No? He whispers tensely. Why are you whispering? I move back, but you are right. I need to get back to my tower, to the human realm. By yourself or... Say the word and I'll cast you right up. It's not too late. His pincer gently presses on my tendrils. I peer at him suspiciously, wondering why he'd say such a thing. He's just trying to help. In his strange, near shallows way, maybe. A silence wraps around us. Thank you. I give the massive claw a pat. For helping my companion, they're important to me. Very much so. Oh, yes, well, I'm not one to judge, and you's welcome. He trails off, voice softer than before. I dare say I might miss you. That's nice. I scratch my egg-like body. I mean, I do not need to go right this blink, but maybe you could answer some questions of mine? But of course, by all means, what do you want to know? First question's free. And then what? About the shards? For help returning to the human realm? On second thought, how does one return to the human realm from here? Quite simply, really. Hold the place you want to return to in your heart and brace yourselves. The crowd begins drawing another pattern above me. The pattern exudes a warm glow. I close my eyes, letting the soothing feeling flow into me. The library. It's not so bad, not compared to this cold, barren place. Soon the warmth is filling me. My thoughts turn into fuzz and I'm floating, wrapped in a blanket of comfort. The hermit hums a jolly tune as he finishes the drawing. He turns to me and says in the most sincere tone I've heard from him, "Goodbye, Shadowling. It was decent knowing you." My body is like wool and I'm seeing dozens of him, spinning in a circle, unable to move or speak. I say thank you in my heart. A warm spark swells in my shell and flows toward the hermit. Whether he hears it or feels it, I'm not sure, but he nods at me and... Can a claw smile? Wind rasps across the waves far above me. Sparks of light bob and shimmer on the surface. The rasping picks up in volume, soon turning into a roar. The water was dropping down toward us, or are we falling up? Wrapped in a rug of softness, all I can do, all I want to do, is smile at the pretty dancing lights. A smooth body wraps around my tendril. The eel is with me. Such a good boy he is. A pressure on the other tendril tells me Ilar's there as well. Good. All is good. We're free falling upwards at a terrifying speed. I grip Ilar and the eel tight. There is a dark shape straight ahead. Curious. It looks like someone floating on the water. It looks like... We land on the hard floor with a thud. Ow. When I inhale, a pungent smell scratches my nostrils and stings my lungs. Light jabs at my eyes, tearing away the comfortable darkness I've grown so accustomed to. I grope around with my eyes squeezed shut. Ilar's silky hair is resting on my chest. They are still, but warm and breathing. I push them off and sit up. Ilar, are you awake? I shake their shoulder. They groan. I sigh, rub my eyes and get to my feet. Everything's still fuzzy. Something's different. The debris. I notice a movement by my head and duck just in time to avoid a stone the size of a boulder. It drags across the floor, screeching. I scramble to pull Ilar away from another stone heading our way. That's when I see Abyss devour and curse under my breath. Drown me, it's got to thrice the size and must have swallowed much of the furniture and small debris. It's tearing the library apart. The floor beneath it is gone. I see no signs of our real bodies anymore. Cannot be good. I wipe cold sweat from my forehead. How are we still here? A moment later they stir. Are you awake? I poke their arm. Ilar rubs their eyes and sways as they rise. What happened? We're back? Yes, thanks to the hermit. Did you have any awareness of him? Did our restoration spell work? How do you feel? What? Spell? Their brows tighten. I click my tongue. Shame. It was quite a ride. I must recount the details to you later, when we're safe, preferably with some drinks in our hands. But just so you know, we cast some sort of restorative spell on you. They blink and shake their sleep from their eyes. You what? Impressive, right? You should have seen the patterns the hermit Hey, you alright? You look pale. Ilar chuckles hoarsely. No, you must be mistaken. One does not simply restore me, especially not a snivelling dredger like that hermit. Well, it was not easy. You look like you were going to fall apart at any moment, I frown. Strange. How come you look like a sigil? Ilar gives a bewildered look. I look like a glowing egg in that other realm, but you were more like a And then Ilar grabs my arm and pushes me until my back is against the wall. Their face is right next to mine. What are you doing? I yell in indignation. What did you do to me? Their breath is hoarse. I need you to tell me in detail. Now. Have you gone mad? Get off me. I push back. Their grip tightens to the point of pain and I'm pinned down completely. Tell me, they growl. Fine, whatever. Alright, we healed you, that's all. I focused on memories of you, and the hermit redrew some of your sigil. You're not gonna make it back otherwise. I try to escape their grip, but they tighten instead, peering into me. I told you everything, let me go already, I wince. What else, they hiss. What? Wait, squeezing my eyes shut, my heart races. I chased after memory shards. My eel helped... What memory? What did you see? I wince as the pain on my arm intensifies. I'm not sure of it myself. In case you forgot, my heart is not exactly all together, and you're not helping. Ilar stares at me a moment longer, then the pressure eases off and they back away, leaving me to rub my sore arm. You can just ask nicely? They slowly drop their hands to their side. I need to be sure, they whisper. This other place, it could do things to a heart. Irreversible things. Clutching their head, they resume pacing and staring at the floor. What's happening to me? More irreversible than dying? Because that seemed to be the only choice I had, but I chose to sacrifice my memory to heal you. My memory. Do you know what that means to me? And instead of thanks, what do I get? I cross my arms and harumph. I'm relieved we're back, truly, but it's been complicated for me. You can't possibly understand. I scoff, again with complicated. I helped you, and then you hurt me. Seems quite straightforward to me. They look down, jaw locked, a hand absent-heartedly pinching their necklace. During this restoration. How did you feel? Calm? You must be joking. I thought I was going to die half the time down there. They rub their face and chuckle humorlessly. Of course, their outburst goes as quickly as it came. I hold my breath. They stare at their hands. This Hermit. Why would they let someone like you restore me? When they look up, their eyes are glittering. Tell me about your memories, and maybe I'll have a droplet of a chance at understanding just what in the blasted depth you've done to me. Well, one memory did stand out to me. We were celebrating a successful experiment of sorts, something we created to hold a vast amount of waters. Ilar's eyes light up. Except, I have no idea when the memory was from. What if whatever it is still exists? They put a hand on their chin, and pace to and fro, a vein pulsing on their forehead. Halting, they rub their scalp hard with both hands and sigh. Try to remember, we need the waters. I hesitate a breath before venturing. I know a way to find out, but you'll not like it. Ilar pinches the bridge of their nose, grimacing. Add it to the pile of them. Alright, just try not to overreact, please. He overreacts to fucking everything. I close my eyes and remember Fuzzpants, moving my hand in a circle as if I'm stroking her head like before. Where are you, Fuzzball? As your master, I bid you to come. Come to me, familiar. Come to me. The darkness behind my eyes seems to take the shape of a slithering cat. Do I see her? Or am I indulging in my delusions? Come to me. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Come the sounds from behind. Ilar stands to rigid attention, brows furrowed. What in the depth? Their hand shoots out toward Fuzzpants. Wait! I cut in between them. Please stay calm. She's not what you think. Their voice is as cold as ice. Move aside. Listen to me. We're bound by ritual. She will not harm us. I turn to Fuzzpants and urgently gesture with my eyes. Tell them. Fuzzpants crosses her arms, narrowing her eyes at Ilar. You? No. But that two-face should listen to the clumsy one, my new familiar. I cringe inwardly. Right. I cough and look at Ilar. Don't do anything rash. We need to worry about finding waters first. Ilar pulls me toward them. Are you out of your wits? After what I warned you about? I know what you said. I try to keep my tone firm as I whisper, but I've seen her true colours in a vision. She really is our Fuzzpants. A vision? You trust it because of... Ilar wipes their face with a hand, then jabs a finger at Fuzzpants. Prove it. Prove you're no Lucasi. Then prove you're no Lucasi, rasps Fuzzpants. You stink bad enough to be one. I hear Ilar grind their teeth. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? She smiles a smooth, toothy grin. Alright, enough. We get the point. I wave my hands desperately. Can we focus on saving our hides for a change? We need to find the place with the big tanks. Fuzzpants grins just a tad longer before turning to me. I know of Big Jar's chamber. You don't want to go there. It's full of stinky things, almost as bad as this two-face. She wrinkles her nose at Ilar. Please, I must. It's important. I point in the general direction of Abyss Devourer. You can smell that, can you not? I must put an end to it, before it eats this entire place. She shrugs. Maybe that's for the better. We can go to a new place. I don't know why you don't just... Do you still think this thing is on our side? Ilar sneers. I glare at Ilar, then plead with Fuzzpants again. Please, tell me where to go. She swishes her tail. Go to the mirror under the tree. Pass through it to the mirror room. You'll see the door to that place there. I tug at Ilar. See? What did I tell you? The pair's eyes are still locked together. The air buzzes with tension. Something shatters near us, making Fuzzpants twitch. Her tail puffs up to 3 times its size. I stifle a laugh just in time. She tucks the tail behind herself and gives me a flat look. Ilar strides to the door, arms crossed. Let's stop wasting our time. I give Fuzzpants a nod. She starts to pad up the stairs, then turns to look at me. You're sure you'll be safe? Oh, remembering something, I jog back to the library. Wait here, both of you. I hold my breath as I peer into the shadows behind the desk. Then on the floor lies the knife that I threw away in a panic the first time I encountered Fuzzpants. It's staring at me, pupil vibrating with expectation. I bite my lip and reach for it, turning its eye away as I pick it up. Returning, I raise the knife to Fuzzpants. See, you need not worry about me. She darts a sideways glance at Ilar and says, I'm not, then turns and slinks up the stairwell. Ilar is already in the garden. When I step out, they turn to me with a soft, gentle look on their face. What? I blink. Then, realizing what they want to talk about, I twist my lips. I don't understand. How can he still not believe that she is who she says, even after she helped us? Rather than raising their voice, Ilar simply shakes their head at me. Let me ask you, what was the first thing she asked of you? I roll my eyes, thinking I'll play along, and fighting to make Ilar drop this pursuit. Waters. What did she promise you in exchange? The strange calmness in their voice makes me more nervous than anything else. That she would tell me about myself and what happened. Did she? Well, she said something about feeling a sickness and hearing strange noises in the library, and Ilar tilts his head at me. Did she actually tell you anything, or was it only a collection of vagueness? There must have been some details, I remember, but she left right after the vision. I didn't really get a chance to... What happened after What happened to her after you gave her waters? A growing unease makes my stomach tight. That's the strange part. She became more human-like, more eloquent, more intelligent, stronger. I've never seen anything like it. At first I thought she was only a normal cat. A being who appears as something mundane but grows in power when fed waters. What do you suppose would happen to her if you kept feeding her? I rub my forehead. She'd become even more intelligent? Even stronger? And what if she becomes stronger and more intelligent than you? Than the both of us? I chew the inside of my cheek. But she's bonded to me. She said she would help me, would she not? Is she truly bonded to you? Or is it the other way around? I blink, feeling my breath speed up. Taverna, was she not joking about me being her familiar? Ilar grasps me softly by the arms. Listen to me. She told you exactly what you wanted to hear. Took your waters, our waters, and gave you nothing back but some stories. No, it's not true. My voice is so low I can barely hear it. She'll keep doing this until she's strong enough that both you and I are no match for her, and then... She's not like that. I yank my arms away and stumble back, huffing. Ilar sighs, lifting their brow, forehead puckering in the grooves. We'll speak no more of this now. All I ask is that you be on guard, and think about what I said, alright? They turn and head for the tree. I drag my feet, trying to shake the sinking feeling. They could be right. Maybe I owe them an apology. And give them the satisfaction of telling you I told you so? Maybe not just yet. I'll apologize after we're through here. When I catch up to Ilar, they're standing in the cave by the mirror. I shake my head as it comes into view. It was so obvious. How did I not see it? The image within is a chamber full of mirrors, each a door to some other place, I suspect. I reach out a hand which passes easily through where the pane should be, into the space beyond. I draw it back and check if any digits are missing. Nope. A way mirror indeed. Ilar, on the contrary, is not impressed one bit. They barely register it, eyes fixed on the ground, jaw muscles tensing. I give their hand a squeeze. They nod. I take a deep breath and step through. Just how far and wide do these way mirrors connect? There's even a brightly lit sky on one of them. A few steps, that's all it would take. And we'd be far away from this place. From Abyss Devara. You won't get far without your profane vessel, Ilar whispers, as if reading my thoughts. My steps halt suddenly. Our bodies. Did you move them? I cannot see them since we came back from the near shallows. Could Abyss Devara have... Ilar strokes their chin, then shrugs. There is no life without flesh in this realm. Our bodies must be intact somewhere. I hope you're right, I scratch my head. Who or what could have moved our bodies? Fuzzpants? Seems more likely she'd leave Ilar's behind. I roll my eyes and decide to put my heart elsewhere. There it is! I rush to the mirror. This is the place I saw. I wave at Ilar and then step through the frame. Alright, this seems like a good place to stop it. I know it's a slightly early, it's a slightly short episode, but that transition seemed like the perfect place to stop, so we'll stop here. Very interesting indeed. So everything is fine, I guess, apart from the fact that the Abyss Devara has eaten half of our library. But we're all alive, and the Hermit guy was awesome. Love him. He's great. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.